Hey guys, it's David. Welcome to the VHS Revolution show, and today I'm reviewing Ryan Coogler's Sinners. Welcome to the VHS Revolution show. I'm your host, David Schumann, and today I'm talking about Ryan Coogler's new movie, Sinners, which is, oddly enough, the third film in the last 2 months that Warner Brothers has released in which one actor has played multiple roles. The film stars Michael B. Jordan as twin brothers, Smoke and Stack. They're known as the Smokestack Brothers. The film also stars Haley Steinfeld, Delroy Lindo, Lee Jun Lee, Tanaj Jackson, Jack O'Connell, and Miles Catton. So let's get this out of the way. Did I like the movie or did I not like the movie? The simple answer is I like the movie. It's really good in places, and there's parts of it that I had problems with. I thought Michael B. Jordan was great. He's an actor that I kind of always like. He's very likable on screen, very strong. I like him in the Creed movies and in Black Panther as well. He plays these twin brothers, and the differences between the two of them are more than just one wears a red hat and one wears a blue hat. You know, one of them is more aggressive, one of them is a little more reserved. He plays the differences between the brothers really well. The only problem is I found it a little hard to tell which was Smoke and which was Stack. That might have just been a me problem, and it really didn't get in the way of my enjoyment of the film. Because, hey, what's better than one Michael B. Jordan? Two Michael B. Jordans. And the digital effects of having him interact with himself were maybe the most seamless I've ever seen in a movie. He's literally handing his twin a cigarette, and there's many scenes where they're hugging or shaking hands or interacting physically with each other. And I never felt like I could see the line or the digital trickery. I really just bought into it right away. And it felt seamless and natural, and because of that I was able to get into other aspects of the story. The film opens with them buying this barn, this sawmill from this racist landowner who may or may not be a part of the KKK. They buy this barn to host a juke night, they call it. It's just a night filled with music and dancing and food and drinking for all of their friends in the community, and that's the setup for the story. And really the first hour of the movie is all about them putting this, I guess you could call it a party, together. They each have their different romantic interests. Haley Steinfeld plays Stack's ex-girlfriend who comes back into his life. And Wunmi Masaku, last seen in last year's Deadpool and Wolverine, plays Smoke's estranged ex-wife. Also figuring into the story is their younger cousin Sammy, played in a really cool performance by a newcomer named Miles Catton. Really talented guy, great singing voice. He's actually essentially kind of the main character of the movie, even though the stars are Michael B. Jordan. Even though the stars are Michael B. Jordan? No. Michael B. Jordan is the star playing two roles. So that's the setup for the film. And what happens kind of as the night goes on has been revealed to you in trailers. I don't want to go into spoilers, but things heat up. There's a lot of action, but it's also very intense. Because we spent the first hour getting to know these characters, we now actually kind of care what happens to them. And I cared what happened to them. And the way the film resolves all these storylines and character relationships is, for the most part, satisfying. I love the cinematography. The music by Ludwig Göransson is spectacular. The costumes are by Ruth Carter, who won Oscars for her Black Panther movies. Production design, everything visually about the film is beautiful. And seeing it on an IMAX screen was great, although I don't love the way that you get the IMAX screen and then the black bars show up and you get the stuff shot in whatever regular aspect ratio. And so it's constantly kind of doing this at times. It's okay. You kind of just settle into the whole experience of it. Coogler is a director whose films I've never loved fully, but there's always something about his films that I really like and in some cases really love. He's got a really great sense of camera and camera work, when to use close-ups, when to move the camera around. The guy likes his oneers. He's done a oneer in pretty much every one of his movies, Creed, Black Panther, and there's a oneer especially in this one, but it's always done for a specific reason. And the oneer in this one happens kind of midway through the film during the barn party, and it's a dance sequence that is moves and changes in really unexpected ways. It's a great idea that doesn't quite work, but on its own is really great. If it was just like a little short film with that one thing, I think it would be great. What they're not revealing in the marketing, and this is not a spoiler, is that the movie is really about music. The movie is really about blues and Irish folk music, and the way that it's about those feels both kind of well integrated into the film and also a little superfluous. I mean, by the end, it all kind of comes together, and the songs are beautiful. The performances are great of the songs. I just wasn't always sure. The movie sometimes seems like three different movies kind of fighting against each other, and sometimes they blend in really seamless ways that work really well. And at other times, the mix of the three is kind of awkward. It's like this character relationship drama. It's this action movie, and it's this movie about blues and music and the history of music and dance and the history of dance, and the way that all comes together is, something you just have to experience for yourself. But I feel like Sinners is really Ryan Coogler's first studio movie. And what I mean by that is it's the first movie that he's made for a major studio unencumbered by IP. He made Fruitvale Station, which was an independent movie, kind of broke him onto the scene. Then after that, he made Creed, which was this like spin-off legacy sequel to the Rocky movies. From there, he went off and did Black Panther, which has become one of the most popular, some consider the most important Marvel movies. I like Black Panther. I don't love Black Panther as much as the majority of people do. I think it's a really solid movie, but there's still things about it that I don't like. And he's taking a big swing with the movie. And in doing so, it's a little messy. There's a lot of ideas that don't quite pay off, but he's really going for it in a way that I think is really cool. I love it when directors go for it. It reminded me of some of Spike Lee movies in a way, where Spike just throws a lot of ideas and characters on the screen, and some of them work and some of them don't, but there's an energy that results from that. And I think the movie is without a doubt worth seeing in the movie theater. And I think Coogler has the potential, if he doesn't already, to become a director like Christopher Nolan, whose name alone can sell a movie. I think that the box office grosses for Sinners are going to be really big, probably a lot bigger than people are predicting. And I think it's going to be a really big hit, not just because of Michael B. Jordan, but because the name Ryan Coogler has become this like almost guarantee of quality and energy and something unique. And not a lot of directors have that. You got that with Scorsese, Spielberg, maybe Denis Villeneuve, Greta Gerwig. There's a bunch of directors who, when you see their name on screen, you think, oh, I really want to see this just based on their name alone. And I think Coogler, if he doesn't have that already, will definitely have that after this movie. And I think it's cool. I want to see more Ryan Coogler movies that are not IP movies, that are not legacy sequels or comic book movies, that are entirely original ideas. And if you're out there complaining that Hollywood doesn't put out any more original movies, you're just not paying attention enough, because you have Sinners, you have a bunch of original movies from earlier this year, Black Bag, Novocaine. There's actually been quite a lot of original films. Sometimes they're smaller. And I think what people mean when they want more original films is they want more original films with big movie stars. I'll get into this in another video. That's kind of my thought on that, is that people don't just want original movies. They want original movies with movie stars, like we used to have in the 90s and early 2000s. Gladiator, Pretty Woman, In the Line of Fire, Jerry Maguire. One thing that I don't love, especially this always happens in like the climax of a movie, is like there's like a big hero moment where the hero just kind of appears out of nowhere to save the day. It happens in Sinners, and it always bugs me. It's just kind of like one of those things that makes no sense if you think about it for 5 seconds. It's a small quibble. There's a coda, like a mid-credit sequence. He kind of borrows that playbook from the Marvel movies, where he does a mid-credit scene and then like a post-credit scene. The mid-credit scene is important for the overall story. I didn't like it very much, but that's just my personal taste. I feel like Sinners might be the kind of movie that I just don't get in certain ways. Maybe because I'm not from Mississippi, I didn't grow up with that kind of music. There's a lot of cultural elements in the film, and I love that he brings that to the film. It doesn't feel like a generic action drama. It feels like a movie written and directed by a filmmaker with a purpose who wants to say something and give us not just some kind of pointed social commentary, but something that's big and exciting and entertaining for people on the level of, say, Jordan Peele with Nope. Nope was kind of a social commentary, but also a big, exciting kind of sci-fi entertainment that was made for the big screen. Okay, let's get into spoilers a little bit. So if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch beyond this point. Go see the movie, then come back and watch this stuff. So the film has been compared to From Dusk Till Dawn. It's not a unfair comparison. It's a little bit more than From Dusk Till Dawn. It's not quite this grindhouse splatter fest. The film has a lot more on its mind than just being a vampire action movie. I liked that. I always like when films kind of surprise you. You think they're one thing, and then they go in this direction, and you're never sure who's going to live and who's going to die. And I liked that unpredictability of the second half of the film. The characters discover that there's vampires in their midst. And what I loved about that part of the movie is that the vampires don't just become these faceless, blood-sucking kind of zombies who just want to destroy everything. They still retain their character, and they become almost persuasive in the way they try to get the humans over to their side. That part of the movie I was not expecting, and I really, really appreciated, because Coogler never stops developing the characters. Even for those who become vampires, it's not just played for laughs or scares. And there are scares and there are laughs, but the characters are developing, and where they go and what they go through with each other is, I don't know about surprising, but it's refreshing, because I didn't feel that the second half of the film was predictable. You know, yes, you're expecting a big kind of battle where vampires are getting stabbed in the heart and there's lots of blood, and all that is cool. And it's like Roger Ebert used to say, and I'm paraphrasing, it's not what a movie's about, it's how it's about it. And that totally applies to Sinners. You've seen these elements before. You've probably even seen some of these characters before. But the way it's played with the music and the character development, even amongst the action, is really cool. So overall, I wouldn't say I loved Sinners, but I liked it a lot. And I really have an affection for Ryan Coogler. I think he's going to continue to do great things. And I'm just, excited to see what comes next. Okay, that's my review of Sinners. I'm really interested to hear what you think. So leave me some comments. Tell me what you think of the movie. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, come back, watch more videos. I have another movie look back episode coming in a couple weeks. I'm recording it next week with one of my oldest friends, talking about a movie that I kind of love, even though it's very flawed. Kind of like this one. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.